Okay, so this is what you're gonna need aside from the water, obviously, to make the soup. So here we have some tomato paste. I have some chicken bouillon. It's just a cubes. I don't like adding the chicken stock. I don't feel like that makes it taste good. I think it's better to control it with the cubes. You're gonna need some Sazon. I just use the Goya one. They have other brands, but I recommend using Goya. I have 2 cans of Goya tomato sauce. I'm using 2 cans because I'm gonna make a little bit of a bigger pot than I did last time. So it's really up to you how much to use. Here we're gonna use some salchichon, and this is the Goya brand. They have other brands too that are really good. This is my first time using this one. I forgot the name of the brand that I used before, but it's still gonna work the same. And that comes in a casing, and you're gonna peel that off. It's really easy to peel off, and then you just cut it into small pieces like so. You're also gonna need some garlic. Now keep in mind, I'm not using all this garlic. I just wanted to peel it so I can store it for later. You're gonna need some potatoes. Here I have Goya angel hair pasta. It's basically like, it comes like that, and they're like, as you can see, they're in bunches like that. So, you know, use your discretion. You'll see how much you need. Remember, you're using potatoes, so you don't want to overdo it with the starch. And then here we have some olives, some corn. These are just like the small corn on the cobs. Here I have some homemade sofrito and some adobo. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, use your discretion. Like, I'm not gonna give precise measurements because it really depends how big of a pot you're making and how much water you're adding. So we'll see when I'm making it how much I'm going to be needing. So here I have just a regular pot. I don't know the size of it. I'm going to put my flame on, I don't know, medium low. We don't really want to burn anything. So we're gonna get that hot. I've rinsed it, so we're just gonna let that water evaporate, and then we're gonna add in our meat. So in case you don't know, this is basically a salami. Wouldn't be able to tell you what's in it, but it's really good. So you should definitely try it. I'm pretty sure there's pork in here, so if you're halal, probably won't work, but you should still try it. It's really good. Literally just gonna dump everything in here. And you're not gonna put any oil in your pot because, as you can see already, the oil from the sausage is gonna start to render out. So as you see here, the oil is already starting to come out. Basically, you're just gonna brown it in its own fat that comes out of it. It's gonna start to get really fragrant once it starts to cook, and it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. Just keep stirring it occasionally, that way you coat all sides. Move it around. See, it has its own fat that it lets out. Now that it's starting to cook, I'm just going to throw in 2 cloves of garlic. You're not going to want to add a lot of garlic because chances are the sofrito that you're using has a ton of garlic in it. I just feel like I need to add a little bit extra, so I'm putting 2 cloves. This here is homemade sofrito. So basically it has cilantro, peppers, there's onions, garlic, and different herbs basically. And I highly suggest you make your own, or if you know someone who makes it, just get some or buy some from them, because Goya does sell already made sofrito, but it's really not the same. Like, it'll work, but it's very different when you make it fresh. And it's really not expensive to make if you're making a small batch. You just buy a few fresh ingredients and there you have it. So I'm not measuring anything in this recipe. This is super ghetto. So I'm just gonna like plop some of this in here. Bear with me because I'm recording with my iPad. So I guess I could say that's like a tablespoon of it. You don't want to add too much because then it's going to be too overpowering. So I'd say just like a tablespoon and a half roughly, but that's about it. I added 10 cups here, so now I'm going to add in our corn. Here I just have some frozen like small corn on the cobs, and there's 6 of them here. So I'm going to add that to my pot. I have about a quarter cup maybe of olives that I'm going to add to the soup. In addition to the corn, I also added 3 potatoes that I chopped up just like that. So we have our corn, our olives, our salami, and our potatoes. And I'm bringing this to a boil, so now I'm going to add the seasoning. So here I have 2 small cans of Goya tomato sauce. I just emptied it out, so I can just put it in here like that. And I'm using 2 since I did use 10 cups of water. I want it to be a really big pot of soup, so 2 should be fine. And now I'm also going to put 2 packets of the Goya Sazon in here. It's going to give it color and flavor. There's 2 here just in case you're wondering. I'm going to use 1 chicken bouillon cube. That should be enough for it. And I also put a little bit of tomato paste, like maybe a teaspoon. I barely put any. Because I didn't add any additional onions, I'm gonna just sprinkle some onion powder in here. Just a little bit. There is onions in the sofrito though, so just be aware of that. And this is what I'm using for salt. I'm using the Goya Adobo. So you're gonna sprinkle that. You don't want to overdo it because this is extremely salty. So just coat the top a little bit, let it cook, and then taste for salt when it's done. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then once it comes to a boil, I'm going to lower the heat and let it cook for about an hour on low. So our soup has been cooking for about 45 minutes with the cover on, and the lid wasn't all the way on. I had it lifted up a little bit so some of the steam could escape. So it's been cooking for about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to add my noodles and let it cook for about another 15 minutes. So as you can see, this is what the angel hair noodles look like. It's kind of like a big bunch. They're separated by bunches. So because I have potatoes in there, I'm just gonna add, I think I'm gonna add about 2 or 3 of these because I don't want it to be too full to the point where there's no broth. So all you have to do is just drop them in. Titanic. And there you have it, guys. It's all done. The noodles are cooked. I actually let it boil for like another 20 minutes because I added 4 bunches in here. So there's 10 cups of water, 4 little bunches of noodles, and we also have our potatoes and our meat. Looks so good. Our corn, everything is ready. And as you can see, it cooks down. The water was about here and now it's over here. So yes, now it's ready to serve up and enjoy.